Guys, if you're watching this, we're going live for NIS at 9 p.m. Eastern. So if you want to come watch along, come watch along. Let's get to the race review. First race review in the new apartment. This wall. I knew this wall was going to be in the camera shot. This wall will be decorated over the next few weeks. I mean, I've been streaming so much, I'm literally calling you guys chat now. Subscribers, people that watch, the longtime viewers of the channel, leave your comments down below before we talk about this Talladega race. What is this wall going to be decorated with? And what should I put right here? Right there. Right there. Right there. What do you think we should put there? I mean, it's literally like, if there are any companies that want, I'll become a sellout. If there's any companies that want ad space, like, it's just like so perfect. The way the camera is, the wall and everything. We got the lamp over there. It's kind of funny. But yeah, we're in the first race review in the new apartment. Got everything set up, and I got my dog underneath my feet right now as it is currently raining. Talladega was today, and it was actually, like, right off the bat, guys, really, really good. Finally not a wreck fest towards the end. We had, in my opinion, the perfect way that these plate races can go, which is some really solid racing, some solid stage finishes where the points actually matter, because obviously we're in the playoffs, so guys getting points, very, very important. And actually a lot of playoff guys did not get points in the stage points, so the guys that did, it made a very big difference. And then we had like kind of one kind of big wreck, but not the big one, and the big one actually doesn't happen until the end of the tri-oval on the final lap, crossing the start-finish line. Then the big one happens, and that is kind of like the perfect way a plate race can go, because if that big one happens too early on, the energy from the pack just dissipates, and then you get single file train racing. I don't think for once the entire race we saw single file racing. So that's one positive thing about this car. And then one negative thing is that it's kind of hard to get away from 2 wide and try to go to 3 wide, because just the way the air works around this car. So there's one positive, one negative, but it's not impossible to go 3 wide. I think you saw that today. You can go 3 wide. You just need to have some really good friends, a lot of cars up in that third lane, and you need to be really good with your pushing. And you need things to happen on the bottom 2 lanes as well. So while I think the package can maybe be improved in some ways, I thought that was a really, really, really good Talladega race. Like, I genuinely don't know, other than getting the third lane to form easier, I don't really think there's much better you can do. I mean, you can push, but it's risky to do it. So you have, and there's a skill level to it. So like when you push, there's a skill level. It's not like 2011 tandem drafting where everyone can do it, and it's 2x2x2x2 like tandem team drafting. And it's not the air bubble in a way either. It's not this thing where the leader can block both lanes easily and it just stalls out. The leader can't do that. You kind of have to pick a lane and focus on pushing. And the pushing allows, that skill level and also that risk. So as a fan, you're on the edge of your seat or you're watching, and you're very excited and also kind of anxious because you watch these pushes. Will it go wrong? Like it went wrong with Brad Keselowski pushing Carson Hocevar and in the tri-oval, ends up turning him, and that caused that big wreck with Austin Dillon, Ty Gibbs hitting the wall really hard. That caused the red flag. So the pushing, there's a skill gap to it, which is very, very nice. And the runs aren't too big. That's actually what was one of my complaints, I think, in the previous years, that the runs I thought were just too much, and it made drivers get a little bit scared or something. I think NASCAR's found a package here that is pretty good. They've definitely worked on some things, because I think the first 2 plate races in the year, the 500 and the first Talladega race, were not fantastic, but the summer Daytona race and this Talladega race, I don't know what's really changed, but they've just felt better, and I think drivers are also getting more comfortable with how much they can push in the car. Because remember, it's not just the package, it's also the drivers. The aggressiveness, the level of aggressiveness in the field is something as well. Like, obviously Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is going to be aggressive from lap 1, and some other guys will be, kind of calm. So that was kind of the gist of it. And then, stage 1, stage 2, very important for the playoff drivers to get stage points. And I think in stage 1, only 3 of them did, and they were all up towards the front. I think it was Larson, Blaney, and who was the third one? Damn it, who was the third one? I thought it was Byron, but Byron's already locked in. Was it someone else? I can't remember. We will talk about the points a little bit later on in the video. They've not shown up yet. I'm recording this literally right after the race, so I'm just waiting on NBC and for some people on Twitter to upload it so I could see the points. But we'll talk about some of the guys in the race. I actually want to talk about Ford. I told you guys that Ford was going to win. Now, Chevy came close. Hendrick Motorsports, they were lined up at the end, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the bottom lane. And then William Byron did a little bit of a selfish move. You know what? I'm real quick. I will talk about Ford in a second. I just want to touch on that because towards the end of this race, Hendrick Motorsports was 1, 2, 3, 4 on the bottom line, and then William Byron pulls out, and it was a selfish and aggressive move because he was pushing Larson and Elliott, and obviously you would assume that there have been talks that, hey, we need to get Kyle Larson as many points as possible here because you're already locked in and Elliott and Bowman aren't in the playoffs. So I thought he'd stay behind Larson, but he jumped out and he was going for the win. And the reason why I say I like that, and yes, it's a selfish move on his part, and I don't think his teammates will be very pleased about it, but that is the killer instinct that William Byron has been lacking for the majority of his career that has changed this season. I said it his whole career. There's a little thing in Byron that's missing. And this season, he's been dominant. He's been arguably deserving of the championship alongside Martin Truex Jr., and he is showing a level of aggressiveness and selfishness that he has not shown before. Not in a arrogant way. It's just aggressiveness to do the best for you. And I really liked that move by William Byron. While it didn't help his team, that is something that he is maturing into a killer of a race car driver, which is very nice to see. He's obviously had a fantastic season. Now back to Ford. Guys, the Fords, if you're not picking a Ford to win these plate races right now, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I was maybe a little bit hesitant, I was one of the later ones to jump on the Ford bandwagon. Like, yeah, okay, Ford's probably going to win one of these races. They can push better than any other manufacturer in the field. They have the numbers better than any other manufacturer in the field. When you have that advantage, when it comes to the end of the race, you're always going to be in prime position to win. While yes, Chevy and Toyota can at times run up front, and we saw that. Toyota struggled for most of the race, but there was a moment in the final stage where they were able to get up there. But Toyota mostly struggles, I think mostly because they don't have the numbers. Toyota lacks with numbers. Chevy have numbers, but the nose of the race car is awful. It is not, smooth. It's not smooth to the rear bumper, and so they can't really lock on push like the Fords can. There are times when they can do it. You saw Larson, I think, shove Chase Elliott to the lead in a way that's similar to how the Fords do it, but they can't replicate it as many times as they want, especially when they lose momentum. So when you lose momentum and you have to regain that momentum, the Fords are able to easily lock on and shove the whole way without doing the whole tap, tap, lock on. It's just straight up lock on, shove. And the reason why is because the bumpers line up. With the Chevys, the bumpers don't line up. So it's more of you try locking on, but it's like a push, separate, push, separate, go. And those little instances, they can't lock up. And in that time, while the front car is either dragging the brake, trying to get locked up, they lose the time that they need. And the Fords don't have to worry about it. It is why it doesn't matter if it's SHR, Penske, Front Row Motorsports, whoever it is. They are able, even within teams, whether it's just Ford and Ford, SHR with Penske, it doesn't matter. They're able to work together way better than any other manufacturer. And when it comes to the end of these races, it's going to work. It's going to work when they can do that. So Blaney and Harvick towards the end of that race, they were working really well together. Shout out Riley Herbst. Listen, I'm being honest. I don't rate Riley Herbst. I don't think he's ever really going to make it in the Cup Series. But he actually ran up there with the big boys and did way better than anyone could have expected. Now, you could kind of see he was a little bit nervous. Like, genuinely, that car was the one car in towards the end that was wiggling and wobbling and shaking and moving around. You could see he's obviously not experienced. And then ended up getting wrecked by, I think, LaJoie in the tri-oval towards the end there. But, damn, he did a very, Blaney said it himself, he did a very, very good job on the restarts. It was just at the high-speed stuff that he was kind of struggling a little bit. But I don't even rate the guy, and he literally just ran top 10 in the Cup Series at Talladega. bravo. You shut me up. Good job. I don't think he's really going to have much of a cup career, but good job. Seriously. And the Toyotas just struggled, man. The Toyotas, let's pull up the race results, actually, because we could talk about that when it comes to the Toyotas. Let me go get it real quick. They still haven't posted the, what is it called, the points. So I'm still waiting on that. But Denny Hamlin went a lap down. Speeding penalties. Speeding penalties also caused some guys. But, he was able to get back, and he ended up finishing in 4th and basically saving his day. So I think he got back on the lead lap with that caution at 30 to go, and he was able to get there. I think Carson Hocevar actually denied him getting the lucky dog on the second stage. But the race results here, Blaney, Harvick, Byron, Hamlin. You can see it's Ford, Chevy, Toyota, Chevy, Ford, Chevy, Chevy, Ford, Chevy, Chevy. Toyota just don't got the numbers. They couldn't work together. And this is, I was talking about this on stream the other day. Denny Hamlin, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated plate drivers of all time. He's won multiple of them, yes, and people rate him. But if he was in a Chevy or a Ford, like let's say Chevy when Chevy were dominating and Ford right now, this guy has 10 plus plate wins. Dead serious. He has 10 plus plate wins, and we're talking about him in the same breath as Junior and Jeff Gordon when it comes to plate racing. Like, he is so good at plate racing, but he's been with Gibbs his whole career, and Joe Gibbs Racing is notorious for not having the best super speedway cars or results, and yet Hamlin has still been able to win the amount of races he has and always be one of the fastest guys and one of the best pushers and being up there for the win. So he's seriously, in my opinion, the most underrated plate driver out of everyone here. It's genuinely crazy what he does. Corey LaJoie finished in 5th after wrecking Riley Herbst. Unfortunately, Riley Herbst finishes in 10th. He was coming to the line, I think, for top 5, maybe like 6 or something, but yeah, LaJoie ended up spinning him out there. I don't really know what LaJoie was doing. Maybe Herbst split up. I haven't really seen another replay of it. I've seen, I wasn't really paying attention to them specifically, but they were going through the trial. Well, I think LaJoie maybe saw a little bit of a gap, tried taking it, ended up destroying the field. It is what it is. Cindric in 6th, Haley 7th, Elliott in 8th, Priest in 9th with Herbst in 10th, Suarez, Smith, Gillen. You could see that. Where are the playoff guys, right? The playoff guys are obviously not really taking up most of these spots. Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson. It's a real shame Kyle Larson comes home in 16th. He was literally on track to finish top 10, guaranteed. But when this is what I mean. William Byron making that move, you don't understand how much that hurts Larson, because Larson was 2nd on the bottom, and then you decide to make that move. And then you become 1st on the bottom. Larson becomes 3rd, and then Blaney, and then Larson becomes 4th, and then the crash, and then you see how Larson loses those positions. So I don't think Larson's going to be that pleased that William Byron made that move, knowing he's already advanced. But you got to do what you got to do to try and win the race, because obviously Byron's not going to win the race from 3rd on the bottom lane. So obviously he went for the win himself, while Larson ended up getting a 16th place. Now, he did get stage points. I'm still waiting on the damn points. Still looking for it, but we'll get to that as soon as I get that. Tyler Reddick in 17th, Eric Almirola 18th, Martrex Jr. in 19th, Chris Buescher 20th, and then the rest of the results, you see Bubba Wallace down here. You see Kyle Busch down here, which is kind of a shame for Kyle Busch. He was probably one of the fastest Chevys all day, but lost track position, couldn't get help. That was that. Alex Bowman was leading, literally leading, and he tried making a wrong block, got stuck in the middle. Bye-bye. Back to 29th. And then obviously Ross Chastain got caught up in that accident that involved Carson, Ty Gibbs, Austin Dillon, all those guys. Brad Keselowski ended up causing it, so more playoff guys with more trouble. Now let's pull up the points. Have they shown up yet? Yes, 19 seconds ago. They are finally up. Perfect timing. I couldn't have time. I didn't have to cut the video. It's literally perfect timing. Okay. William Byron, Ryan Blaney with both wins. Denny Hamlin, you're good. Good job. You can enjoy the Roval without any stress. And then it gets tight. Christopher Bell, who damaged his right front early on in the race after that stage 1 wreck, basically is able to recover somewhat and is able to get 22 points to the good. Chris Buescher's 19. Truex is 17. Larson is 15. Now, obviously, Larson would have been much higher with a better finish, but he was able to get stage points today, so he did very well. One of Larson's best plate races, actually. And Truex still basically surviving off of his playoff points that he's earned before the playoffs. He's had a terrible playoffs, genuinely, but like I said, playoff points are very, very important. So as long as he doesn't have a stinker at the Roval, which he might, but as long as that doesn't happen, he should be okay. Then it gets very interesting. Brad Keselowski, Tyler Reddick, Ross Chastain, Bubba Wallace, and Kyle Busch. 2 points to the good for Keselowski, 2 points behind for Reddick. Chastain, with the crash and finishing last today and getting no stage points, ends up going 9 behind, with Bubba Wallace also being 9 behind. Today was the day for Bubba Wallace to try to make the round of 8. Now, unfortunately for Bubba Wallace, I'm sorry, but I would not place a bet on him advancing to the next round. He would have to... Yeah, it's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. Like, he's done better at road courses, but we're asking Bubba Wallace to basically run top 5. I don't think that's going to happen. So, today was the day. He had to get the stage points, and he had to get the try to compete for the win. And I don't think he got any stage points at all, and he ended up finishing in 24th. So, very bad day. Not really his fault. Again, the Toyotas just were not good today. It was just that simple. Kyle Busch goes into the must-win situation. Tyler Reddick, while he is 2 down, has to feel really good. It's one of the best road course racers in the series. It's going to be all about qualifying, guys. Make sure you watch qualifying on Saturday. And they're bringing back cautions for the Roval. That is going to be, in my opinion, very controversial. Because... what I expect is going to happen, these guys like Larson, Truex, I feel like Larson and Truex can get away with not pitting before the stage end and actually taking the stage points and losing track position, because I feel like those stage points to them will be more valuable. But if you are Tyler Reddick, if you are running top 3, what do? Do you sacrifice your track position in a race car that's borderline impossible to pass at road courses for stage points? Or do you do the right thing and try to win the race, but you have to not get stage points? I do not want to be in that. All year, we have not had cautions at the end of stages for road courses, and now for the final road course race, NASCAR decides we're going to throw them back in. I don't want to be a crew chief, genuinely, for Reddick, for Keselowski, even for Larson and Truex. For Chastain, I do not want to be a crew chief for these guys. I don't know what the call is. It depends on where you're running, but I haven't. If you do not take the points, then you have a chance to win. But if you take the points, you are not winning that race. There's no way that you're winning that race. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell you, man. That's a terrible position to be in, and I don't agree with it. Yes, I get that the restarts will make the race more entertaining, but even where the restart zone is at the Roval, it's going to spread out the field before they get into turn 1. So I don't understand why they're throwing that wrinkle into this, because from a sporting perspective, it seems unfair. But those are the rules. NASCAR making up the rules as they go. They can do what they want. All right, guys, let me know in the comments down below what you think. I'll try to get this uploaded as soon as possible. I have to cook Sky dinner, so oh, he's sleeping. He's fine. I think I have enough time. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your day. Follow me on Twitter if you're not already, and I'll actually see you tonight. Yeah, we're live streaming tonight, NIS. I probably should have plugged that at the beginning of the video. I'm going to actually record something for the beginning of the video, but at the end. So now, it's like it's full circle, you know, guys? Like, what you saw at the very beginning of this video was actually coming right after I say this, because I completely forgot that I'm streaming tonight. So, all right. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys tonight. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you're not already subscribed if you're new. And peace out.